food doesn't make sense. So you're telling me that you can't live off of what's on the ground, like a plant. You can't just pick up nitrogen and potassium and ram that up your mouth and survive off of that. Oh no, you've got to have some specific collections of nutrients up your mouth. Like carbohydrates, which is just a collection of carbon and hydrogen atoms, or proteins, which are just collections of carbon and nitrogen atoms. And in the end, it really doesn't matter because everything is converted to glucose. And then when you try to cheat the system by eating only glucose, you end up diabetic. Turns out, alongside the glucose, we need other stuff like cellulose, which acts as fiber. And we don't even use that for digestion. Oh no, we use it to get rid of our waste products. That's another thing. We don't even use most of the stuff that we eat. So what's the point? In a perfect system, we wouldn't need to get rid of waste products. We would use all that. Well, anyways, let's get on with the me personally segment. Now, me personally, I have indeed been an eater of food since, well, birth. Obviously. Disregarding the fact that a lot of stuff about food doesn't make sense, I do have a lot of favorite foods. As someone of Indian origin, I have indeed eaten a lot of Indian food, and I also want to clear up a couple of misconceptions about this, so stay tuned. Now, I come from the southern region of India, from a little state called Kerala. Now, something that's true not just for food in India, but for the entire culture of India, is that Western people think that India is one homogeneous shade. No, it isn't. There's diversity everywhere, including the South. Now, I do love northern food, but for now, let's talk about the southern food that I really like. Starting off with dosha. Now, dosha is basically a pancake, but it's not really a pancake. For the most part, it's savory, and you don't eat it with anything sweet, so I don't know how you can call it a pancake. Besides the fact that, of course, it's made on a pan, and it's made with stuff that you could make a cake with, theoretically. Now, even here, we have a bit of diversity. If you go a little north, you'll reach a little place called Udupi, and there, they make the most horrendous dosha in the world. Like, it is about as thick as your lip, and the sambar, which is the stew that you eat it with, is sweetened. Why? What sort of mental illness drives people to do things like that? In contrast to this cooking abomination, if you go down south again, you'll find the Madurai dosha. Even though the Madhu in Madurai stands for sweet, you will not find a speck of sugar in their sambar. It is about as spicy as the waters of hell. And the dosha? Crispy as hell, bruh. The sound of breaking the dosha out with your hand alone is guaranteed to give you an orgasm. Fuck Udupi dosha. All my homies eat Madurai dosai. Now, there is a lot of bad stuff about South Indian cuisine. One thing is that it's too over-reliant on rice, leading to such catastrophes as idli, which is like one of the most bland foods in the world. Unless you mix it with the correct chutney. And no, I'm not talking about the stuff like mango chutney. Like, what the hell is this? This is not chutney. This is what Satan shits out every single time he gets on his big ass toilet, mixed with the jizz from his pet goat. Now, actual chutney is made from coconut. And my god, they are the beautiful elixir which saves us from even the worst of idlis. I could go on and on about South Indian cuisine, but I gotta wrap this video up eventually, so let's move on to North. Now, North Indian cuisine is beautiful, but as someone who's a vegetarian, I can't really sample everything. But what I have sampled is beautiful. North Indians are the kings of flatbread. you've got porota, you've got naan, you've got roti, you've got chapati, you've got all this. Yet the most famous flatbread in the world is some random dish made in Mexico called the what? The tortilla? Oh, you call it tortilla? Well, that doesn't make any sense. Besides being the kings of flatbread, North Indians are also the kings of masala. Like you got stuff like matar paneer, kadai paneer, paneer butter masala, gobi manchurian. All that shit is dope. Paneer butter masala and porota go hand in hand. It's like mustard and a hot dog. The two are near inseparable. Of course, I love Western food as well. My favorite being the pizza. God bless the Italians for blessing us with this beautiful pie. Of course, I also love stuff like burgers and hot dogs, but all in their non-meaty version because, hey, I did tell you I'm a vegetarian. Speaking of which, let's get on with the stuff that doesn't make sense. Like, why do religions have dietary restrictions? Like, it's frowned upon to eat beef when you're a Hindu, it's frowned upon when you eat pork as a Muslim, and in the case of Jewish people, they can't eat Mr. Krabs. Mr. Squidward, looks like you are on the menu. Oy vey, no, not him either. And why that be, boyo? Just like you, he's not kosher. Well, that's not very kosher with me. Well, I'll get you next time, Mr. Squidward. So yeah, dietary restrictions imposed by religions are pretty stupid. Another thing that doesn't make sense is the price. Like, holy shit, bruh. There are just so many stuff that I've seen on Mr. Beast that costs way more than the average salary of a doctor. Let that sink in. Something that you can enjoy only for a fleeting moment is more than the average salary of a doctor. And then there's these cuisines that you think are authentic, but are not. Like when you think of Hungary, you think of paprika-infused goulash. But paprika didn't reach Hungary until 1526. So technically, paprika is not Hungarian. So that means all the spice in Indian cuisine is actually pretty inauthentic. As before the 16th century, all chili pepper came from the New World. And because potatoes came from the New World, that means vodka is not an authentic Russian drink. And neither is the Swiss dish of rosti, which is basically a pancake made of potatoes. But these dishes have been prepared and eaten in the countries of their origin for so long that people don't care. But yeah, now it's time to wrap this video up in a neat little bow. Here are my final thoughts about food. A lot of stuff about it doesn't make sense, but at the end of the day, as long as it tastes good and we can stuff it down our mouths, it doesn't need to make sense at all. Thank you for watching my video. If you liked it, then please like, subscribe, comment down what you liked, and yeah, until the next video, I'm Ghost. Can you put your balls in my jaw? Balls in my jaw. Can you put your balls in my jaw? Balls in my jaw. Ooh, balls in my jaw.